10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Silver Squad? RJ here from the Silver Site, back again with some familiar faces and, our friend Dr. J, who's been, so kind and gracious, blesses us with her presence as we break down these farm episodes. Today, we're going to be talking about season 3, episode 5, The Light of Day, which is the latest episode to drop on MGM Plus. So, without further ado, I want to, kick it to Jay. How you been, man? Hero Harrison, what's going on with you?
I've been great, man. It's been a while, and I'm just really excited to get back to talking about From, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Desiree, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to get into this.
And Dr. J, who's been with us since episode 2, how you been?
I've been good, living my best life between the town and Colony House, I guess. Somewhere in between there.
Somewhere in between. And not Colony House, though, because they don't wash. There's too many people in there. No, absolutely not.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. You're right about that.
10 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So before we get started, I want to go around and get your overall opinions on the episode 5. Dr. J, what did you think?
It was a filler episode for me. 100% a filler episode. I felt like not enough answers, way too many questions, and then we were left with like a cliffhanger at the end. Like Tabitha came back, but she did nothing, in my opinion, the whole episode. Then we were kind of left with a bang at the end, but I think my favorite scene, Victor and his dad hugging it out. But overall, it was a filler episode.
Okay, that's right.
Well, I think it was a filler too. At first, I wasn't going to say that, but now that I think about it, I would think it's definitely a filler, but I think I've made a lot of connections, so I can't wait to get into that.
Oh God, Desiree, listen, for those of you who are new to our channel and new to Desiree, just pay attention. Pay attention. And Hero Harrison, Jay, what did you think of the episode overall?
I thought it was a good episode. Kind of a filler, but I thought there were some parts that were important and that we got to see finally.
Yeah, same. I kind of think we all have the general consensus that it was a filler episode. I think we did get some. We had one eventful thing, maybe 2 eventful things kind of happen this episode, but overall, I don't feel like they did much to kind of drive the story forward. I think, like y'all said, it just kind of created, more questions. So I know the flow of the show is normally, plot based, but we may jump around just because not a lot happens. So if we're not on something, and you want to bring it up, feel free to do so. We can always jump back. So I guess, do you guys want to start out with Randall and his wounds and what you guys think is going to happen with that whole situation, the fallout with Boyd and Randall's wounds?
Yeah, that was insane. But the cheek, woo, what did they do to him? I'm sorry.
I feel like they did just enough to him to rile him up and then send him back because, Randall was already an outcast, right? So I feel like they did just enough to send him back. So he's even more mad at everybody now and a little bit more standoffish.
I honestly think that, the people, we'll talk about that in a little bit, are just playing with Boyd, and it's just they're playing with the people that I guess are just getting closer to him every time. And now it's just turned into a catastrophe. I mean, it's been a catastrophe, but it's just getting worse.
I just feel like the monsters like drama because it's because otherwise, why would you do that? Like, why didn't you killed everybody else? Like, I feel like they're just in a little group chat. I feel like they're thinking of ways to like start shit. And I feel like this was one of the ways where they said, this is the maximum amount of stuff that we could start, with the least amount of effort, and unfortunately, Clandle was the victim of that.
Oh my God, Randall.
Oh man.
I don't know. Randall's a hothead, man. I don't think he's gonna forgive Boyd. I
wouldn't forgive Boyd. Would you forgive Boyd?
Well, because we do have to look at it from both perspectives. You know, if your boy, you know, he was kind of forced into that situation a little bit because he didn't really have a choice, but he could have. But they all probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
So you gotta look at it from Randall's perspective too, because it's like, yeah, you left me. I'd be mad as hell.
Yeah, Boyd has a huge responsibility to look after the town, to look after his people, to make decisions on behalf of the town. That's a lot. Yeah. I definitely think the monsters, or I'll say the entity, is playing games with him. Yeah. Why would they leave this man alive? Is my question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Boyd. I was gonna say, I feel like Boyd could have went back, because going back to the last week's episode, when he parked the paramedics van, he stopped and he hesitated, right? And when he hesitated, I was like, he's about to go back. He's gonna go back and get him. He's gonna do the thing. And he took them keys out the ignition and went right inside.
He's going to Colony House, okay?
I thought he was gonna do the thing, do the hero thing, because it's like he stopped, and I was like, okay, Boyd, do the thing. And then Boyd was like, not today. I done saved enough people. I did my community service. Not today.
Yeah. Boyd is like, yeah, absolutely. Boyd was like, yeah, psych. Right back now.
Let me go see what Donna's doing. What's going on?
We gotta give Randall his credit though, because technically, if Randall didn't run back and get the little toolbox, Tabitha would have still been handcuffed, or they would have had to take her arm.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I mean, thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Y'all know from last season, I'm not a fan of Randall or Kenny. So honestly, I wouldn't even try to. I probably would have.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't have even tried to run the monsters over at that point. I just probably would have left. She wouldn't even got to finish the sentence when she handed me. Like, that would have been it.
That is hilarious. Yeah. And then what he experienced too, though, that was after, I think, Boyd decided not to go back for him. The cicadas. I think it was him. It was two other people who experienced that same thing, which was, I think, Julie and
Mario. Yeah.
Marielle. Yeah. So, what is that?
I think that's what gets dramatic. Like, the cicadas aren't even real. At that point, you could have just ran. You could have. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just hard on Randall because I don't like it.
You are. I was like, does he know they're not real? Like, are you sure he knows they're not real? Because like, how he be acting? I thought they was real until they did like the zoomed out shot, and I was like, oh, they're not real. So I feel like you very hard on my boy Randall. I'm Team Randall with the fist up.
Not the fist. Not the fist.
Not the fist.
I have a love-hate relationship with Randall because I feel like, I got to give him a little bit of credit because, when that bus scene, when I think Boyd went and he said, we're going to switch spots for tonight. He's like, why are you still here? Blah, blah, blah. And then, he's like, I've been spying on him. I'm like, oh, so you actually been doing something like valuable to the team. So like, okay, well, maybe you're not so bad after all. I mean, he's done other things. He hasn't like killed anyone quite yet, but I mean, it's just he's edgy. He's edgy.
Yeah. And that's a good point you made because Randall has never been a team player since he got off the bus. So when you factor in the fact that he's outside doing recon and trying to, and learn the patterns. So I guess I could give him like a smidge.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Credit.
A little bit.
Like you get a smidge of credit.
Wait. So are we saying that, okay, out of everyone in Fromville, are we saying Randall is the most useless person in Fromville? Because I feel like I'll give that to Ellis. Like, we got a couple people that are useless.
Yes.
The black bus driver, who I guess only makes Dumbo.
Yeah.
We got Ellis, who's useless. Dale, who stabbed Ellis.
I forgot about that. Oh, wow.
That's right.
Fatma is just about useless because she's done nothing but help Julie, get acclimated to the madness. Like, I feel like on my scale of uselessness, I don't think Randall is at the top of that, I feel like there's so many other like characters just looming around. Like we said this last week, Colony House has an endless supply of people for monsters to eat. Every episode, I'm like, who's this kid? Like, who's this girl? When did she get here?
Yeah. Like, are you new here?
Endless supply. So I'm like, who would be y'all most useless character so far in season 3?
Definitely Ellis.
I'd hate to say it.
Yeah.
Sorry, 14, but yeah, Ellis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I have to agree.
Yeah. Ellis ain't been hitting on nothing this whole season.
Because I mean, Randall could at least he's active.
Yeah.
So he can get busy and do something good. I think if he has the right guidance,
He'll get in the paint. I feel like Randall would get in the paint if need be.
Yeah.
I don't think Ellis would. Ellis with his V-neck, what is that? V-neck plaid shirt or flannel looking shirt he has on. Ellis isn't getting in the paint. Okay, he gives. I don't know. He just gives party vibes to me. But I will say, Ellis, I finally feel like he did do something useful when he walked up on Fatma in the greenhouse eating the rotten fruit, the rotten fruits and vegetables. I feel like he was finally being useful when he finally was like, well, what is this? What are we doing here? So I feel like he did a little something. But that's
he asked one question, but in his defense,
I
feel like he is trying to be a good father. And he is worried, but Fatima won't really let him in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Shayna, I think that's what's going to happen, Shayna. I think Ellis is going to die by Fatima's hands. Stephanie, she didn't even peel that banana before she ate it. It was rotten and she ate the peel. Like, she needed an insure or something.
But is the peel worse than the blood? Because...
That was nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
That was disgusting. Yeah.
Y'all leave her pregnancy cravings alone.
Hold on now. Okay. That old neg is really getting to her, apparently. I don't think that's a pregnancy craving. I feel like, and I could be wrong, I'm like, I just want that ultrasound to show Smiley's face on it when they put it on her stomach.
Oh.
I want that to happen so bad.
No.
Because I mean, she literally is eating death if you think about it, and it's kind of sad. So it's just really, I don't know. I just feel like there's something wrong. It's the baby, but it could be something like that.
I think you got a point, Jay. And I said this last week where I feel like when they killed that monster and they did the autopsy on Smiley, there was nothing inside. So I feel like whatever's happening is happening to him or is happening to her. And I feel like her insides are going to shrivel and rotten just like that too. And we're going to see her. I feel like she's turning. But yeah, I don't know. Ellis has not done a lick of much of anything this season. And I hope we get to see more from him, but he's really just he's not delivering this season, man. But speaking of delivering this season, Victor's character, I want to talk about I know we're jumping. I want to talk about the reunion with the heck's his name?
Oh, Henry.
Yeah, that was beautiful. What did you guys think of that?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I really thought, because that's the moment I was waiting for. Because the episode before that, or I think it was that episode, he ran away, and I was like, no. And then the next episode, I was like, yes, because they finally, got that chance to meet. So that was a really heartwarming moment, and it was needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. One of which almost made me cry. Actually, in and of itself, I think it was beautiful. It was probably the most emotional scene, or just moment within the episode, and so I think that was very much needed. And we got two different perspectives as far as how Victor felt about his father and how, of course, Henry felt about losing his family.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I feel like Henry was needed because Henry brought in a voice from the outside. Like the first thing he said to Ethan, who almost none of the Matthews made me mad this episode. So I'm like,
first time for everything.
Right.
And so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna bring up the motel that Henry brought up right before he met Victor.
Yeah.
I just like what you said, how like Henry was a voice from the outside because a lot of people didn't believe that when Tabitha came back, and he was a voice that's saying like hey, what Tabitha told me I didn't believe either, and that's the only person at that moment that could that a lot of people could rely on as a voice. So I think that Henry is an important piece to this whole puzzle that they're trying to figure out.
Okay. No, he really did throw Sarah to the side like she was nothing.
Yeah, it was emotional. Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie, yes. I couldn't find my way home. That broke me.
Oh,
That broke me.
Oh my gosh. Oh, can we talk about Victor's room when Henry was in Victor's room?
Yes.
Okay. Because I felt like that was another good moment. The monologue in of itself, Donna, I think, expressed so much sensitivity to the stranger about his family situation. As he was kind of, walking around the room, I noticed that picture. That picture of like the white figure as he was talking. I couldn't help but see that it looked like it was a map of some sort. Far away because it had like the green triangles.
Yeah.
And I think similar to that, I think last season as well. So kind of something that I missed. Also before that, how he approached that rope, that kind of scared him. But I think it did represent something around the fact that maybe he tried to unalive himself at a certain point because he felt he lost his power and nothing left. So that in of itself was kind of eerie because the rope looked like a noose.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Go back.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, I gotta go back and look at that one. I'm like,
yeah. I told y'all, I said, there's already knowing stuff. You see it though.
I can't help it.
So I want to also talk about something else that happened in Colony House where Julie and Elgen and the kimono woman. So Elgen finally tells someone about the kimono woman. They talk about they think that Tabitha was let out so that way I guess they would have some hope so that way they could kind of, destroy their hope again. And so sorry, flashbacks all the way out. Elgin Holmes attacks her. Company, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so what do you guys think of Elgin, not Ellis, Elgin finally, confiding in someone about the kimono woman because the man has not slept in days. Elgin can't close his eyes without something popping up on him.
I think more people need to do a little bit more talking, not just Elgin when things happen. I think I'm happy he confided in someone. Random, am I the only one that didn't know Elgin and Julie had a thing? Like,
I knew he had a crush, but I didn't know, because he liked her when she first got there, right? And I think she deaded him, almost immediately.
I think so, yeah, because we talked about, at least I think it was me last time, I talked about the fact that I didn't really like that. Desiree.
Why not? Why not?
I love that. That's funny. I'll be that, sure.
Yeah, as far as the crush, I mean, I know they kind of were hitting it off. Well, I think like you mentioned, Elgin had a crush on her. I think things kind of just naturally happened at that moment, as they were like downstairs and hanging out, trying on those different clothes and stuff. But I think as far as Elgin, I think it's just he's going through a lot. And I think I agree with Dr. J. He's got to talk more. That's plain and simple.
I like Elgin's character. I honestly like his character overall, but I feel like he got to give me more. Like he's at a 2 right now. I need him at an 8 for him to be in my top 5 characters. It's like Elgin's character can develop so much because I feel like if I was really to analyze all the characters, who would be the next chosen one after Victor's mom, Tabitha? I feel like it could be an Elgin. Could be the next like chosen one to save the kids, allegedly,
Yeah.
or whatever they have going on. But you're right, that boy Elgin, he gotta stay awake. What is that called? Like a narcolepsy? What is it when someone keeps falling asleep? Is it narcolepsy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, Elgin. And then the funny thing is, what I noticed about his character, and I didn't really clock it before, I noticed that he doesn't realize when he's asleep or when he's awake at all, which is such an interesting thing. And I feel like it's a nice little Easter egg in the episodes because I feel like that gives the writers any chance now to go back. Like the whole moment with Julie, it could have been a dream. Now they could kind of go back and paint that to whatever he wants because he never knows if he's awake or asleep. So
and I think that's a really good way to sum it up too, because if you think about it, since last season, Elgin, I think they're trying to just keep more secrets until something that of his importance may help or destroy something, because Elgin really hasn't said a whole lot. Even last season, he hasn't really said anything to anyone. He's kind of just kept his cool and just been walking around the house and just talking to the people and trying to keep his sane as well. And anytime, he's about to say something, it's like, the episode cuts off or someone else like cuts him off or something. So I think what they're trying to do is set up something for Elgin. But
you're right. That does happen to him a lot. He's tried to, say things, or he'll be in the middle of a vision and something will either like shock him awake or, scare him awake. So yeah, Elgin never really gets to complete anything because he spends more time being scared.
Yeah,
exactly. And as far as the dead kimono lady, I think she was kind of likened to Gabriel, the Archangel Gabriel. I believe he said his grandmother had mentioned something about that.
He did, yeah.
Am I right? Okay, yeah. Well, I was kind of looking up Gabriel, and he's kind of like a divine messenger within the Bible.
Yeah.
I wonder what, I don't know. I'll play with that a little bit more as we go forward, but
it doesn't. If I'm not mistaken, I think I talked about this last season. I think doesn't Elgin mean prophet or something like that, like biblically or something. I think it means
I actually think so. Actually, yeah. I think it's on the lines of that. Yeah.
That is true.
So even with and Julie kind of talks to him too. She says that she'll take the kimono woman over what she went through, and she says she hears things in her head, and it's more than that, she can feel it. And to me, I just feel like this is also a sign of two traumatized people coming together and sharing secrets.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, and also, did you guys think that Polaroid camera that they found belonged to Christopher?
I wouldn't touch no Polaroid camera.
I know. I was kind of creeped out by that. I was like, y'all,
none of that.
Yeah.
Maybe it does belong to Christopher.
I think it does.
Christopher. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
There has to be a backstory. So when he took the picture, as soon as they flash it, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're gonna see something in the background. And somebody clocked it in one of the farm groups, and they said that we saw Elgin's picture, but we didn't see Julie's picture, or we didn't see them hold up Julie's picture. So I'm wondering if when they hold up Julie's picture, like there'll be somebody or a shadow or something behind Julie. I'm wondering.
I wouldn't touch it. That's exactly why I wouldn't touch no Polaroid.
Yeah,
I'm not touching a Polaroid camera. They're bugging. I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's funny that you say that though, because I noticed that because I was trying to look at the pictures there, flipping it, and you saw Elgin's, but then they didn't show hers. I'm like, okay, what is going on?
Interesting. Well, remember, she too experienced. Now it's getting me thinking. Oh gosh, the wheels are turning.
She was in the coma. Yeah, Julie was one of the ones in the coma, or the trance, I should say. She was It was Julie, Randall, and who else was in the trance? Mariel.
It was
Mariel, Randall, and
there's three people, right? They said it's three.
Yeah.
Three.
Yep, it was three. She was one of the ones that experienced the entity, which also kind of makes me theorize a bit about Muriel's connection to
Stephanie,
Fatima and why she's doing what she's doing. And then her connection to Randall as far as what could happen with him as well. Something about Muriel, because remember something happened to her as well, the entity. She never we never really got into what was
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's almost like nothing happened to her.
Around.
Everybody else is traumatized and she's walking around like la 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 la.
It's the drugs. It's the drugs with Muriel. You know.
But like
Muriel,
he is supposed to be like a doctor, I think, right? Or somewhat of a doctor.
Okay, Muriel.
Yeah, so-called
Remember
doctor.
how Nikki got shot and she took the bullet out, said she was stabilized, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah. Not a doctor. 0 out of 10.
Right.
I mean, all right. I will never defend Muriel.
And
she said that lady had like internal bleeding, even though she took the bullet out. I don't think she was going to be able to save her.
She did, but then also, look at Fatima. She gave her that medication to help with her pregnancy. Now these cravings are coming out of nowhere. I don't know. Remember how
like every time she's healing somebody, she's like, "Here, drink some water." What?
Try this. Yeah.
What? Like, what do you mean? She's
and
like,
then think too, like, what is her purpose in this story?
Nothing. Like,
I think for something to be set in motion, but that's just my as a character.
I do agree.
Yeah, pediatric nurse, not a doctor.
Oh, okay.
She took the spot. So by default, she was the only person that was qualified. That day.
I'm just connecting things.
Yeah, no, I think you're getting somewhere with that though. Still, like, because there's so many, a lot of things still haven't even been explained, and just the flashbacks of like, the stuff they're still not showing is kind of shifting like our thoughts towards this. But I feel like still with Elgen and like the other theories, it's just something. Elgen is very important to something that's going to happen. I feel like.
Yeah. Can her character be set in motion? Like, why are you here? What's going on?
All she does is fill foreheads and give water. Like, she's not like, what are you doing?
I mean, she don't got no ginger ale.
It's some saltines. Go take this and lay down.
No ginger ale bowl and saltines. My girl, she can't do much.
Tabitha could have brought some back.
Listen, let me tell you, that town hall meeting gave the house meetings they have on Baddies on Zeus. That's what that town hall meeting gave to me. Because when they called everybody together, I don't know what Boyd was expecting, right? And I was actually with Jade when it came to the town hall. Jade was like, "I'm not going. Ain't no questions gonna be answered." Yeah. Exactly. You knew what was up. They called Tabitha there. Tabitha's like the president of Frumville. She rolls in the late.
Super late. PP time.
Listen, it's like everybody's waiting on me. Tabitha rolls in. She says the bare minimum. Like, I would have been there in the back mat. Tabitha, take it from the top. You went through a tree. Because she never touched on the boy in white. She never really touched on falling through, getting pushed through a window. She never touched on any of that. That's why people need the answer. She's like, what she said is, yeah, I went through a tree. I ended up at the hospital. And then she never made the connection with Victor's dad. Really. She didn't say much of anything. So everyone's getting mad. But the one thing I will say that I don't remember if this happened in the episode or I read it in one of the groups after. Somebody said, or maybe it did happen. Somebody said, what if she would have like Googled all the people who were missing or something like that to actually look them up to see how long they've been gone.
Oh.
Yeah, because she looked up herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to know that about Prum, actually. Like, I have a gauge of Victor based on his age, but everybody else, I have the gauge from, like, them saying Donna was here 2 years after somebody, whatever. But, like, I want to see, like, the full-on gauge of, like, how long everybody was gone. Are they still looking? Like, I don't even know if she really even talked to her mom at this point, or it was, like, Thomas with a woman's voice on the phone. I'm like, did she talk to her mom? I don't know.
That voice on the phone is really irritating me because there's no answers behind that yet. But I'm trying to figure out like who is that being directed towards? Is that directed towards a certain family, or is that just a voice just messing with everybody?
I hate the fact that nobody tells anyone anything. We're at this town meeting. Talk about the voice. Tabitha, what exactly happened? You know, like let's
No, it was like it's like
Say something.
when you're trying to teach an 8-year-old how to convey their emotions and feelings, and they just like and it's like use your words. Like she wasn't saying anything. Well, what did you want me to do?
I can't
Like,
be like
Town meeting could have been an email. They did not.
I agree.
They
Because-
did not have to meet.
right.
No, they share the most useless part of like something major could happen, and they tell like a fraction of it. They tell like, yeah, and I fell on the way out when I was running, but what were you running from? They don't tell anything.
RJ, they give us the a quarter. They don't give us the whole dollar. That's the problem.
Basically, like, I mean, Tabitha could have shared about the dream that she had at the lighthouse, where she was at the lighthouse and then she saw the carvings at the lighthouse that had the same date that her and Jade discovered when they got the what was it, the bottle tree.
Yeah.
And they got the note out of the bottle tree, and I think the date was 1864 on that. The same numbers that we saw in her nightmare. What that could have meant, I don't know. It's just so irritating.
Because okay, so let's talk about the town meeting as a whole now. Then, since we're here, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, she rolls in on CP time, super late. Then you come in with a half-ass explanation, and then what really pissed me off was I was very disappointed in Ellis and Fatima, because if anybody should understand the situation, it's you guys. I felt like nobody was using common sense. They were talking to Tabitha like she clawed and fought her way to come back to the town. Then I was mad at Tabitha because rather than you telling them what happened from start to finish, you're so scatterbrained. You're saying a million different things that nobody understands you. And then Dale's, listen, y'all want to go to the tree?
God.
Line up. I'll take you there one by one. Let's go.
Don't get me on start on Dale, man. Because look,
no, start on Dale, Jay. Start on Dale.
Dale's been irritating me for a long time. Look, I didn't want anything bad. Okay, yes, I did, but that's not the point. I did, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Look, Dale is one of those people that is gonna get everyone unfortunately killed, and I thought that all right, just let him go, let him leave because everyone else is trying to hold him back. But it's like, no, this is one person that you just let him go, let him do his thing. Because he wants to get home. I get it. I understand. But there's a lot of pressure on Boyd too. And Dale has also he stabbed someone. Was it last season?
Yep.
Yeah, he stabbed this Boyd's son. So it's like, you gotta go, man. You gotta go.
Yeah, which means he has no reason to point his finger at the cop who accidentally shot Nikki. Because remember what you did?
Yeah.
Sir? Come on, hypocrite.
Yeah, I remember that. We ain't forget.
So freaking annoying. Rest in peace, I guess.
I hope Dale does not know peace. Like, thank you. Your final resting place is between a rock and a hard place. Like,
it was though.
Yeah,
literally.
like, yeah, literally.
RJ, you know one thing that made me happy though about Jim. I told Des this too. Like, this is the smartest and best thing Jim has said all season. When Tabitha was walking in the diner when they were having the meeting, she's like, "What do I tell him?" And Jim was like, "The truth." And I was just like,
smartest thing Jim has ever said. I know, right?
That's true.
That's going to be the new game on the show.
Wonderful.
Whenever does something smart, we got to applaud. We won't be clapping.
Beautiful.
Much, but yeah, we're making it a tradition.
Absolutely beautiful. The smartest, the best line you have ever had in the whole season, in all these seasons. So good job.
And Tabitha went in there and said nothing. she barely, like, if I was Tabitha, I would have been like, listen, this what happened. It sounds crazy, but look where we are now. This Victor's dad.
Yes.
This Victor daddy. Now Victor daddy told me that his mom said. Then I would have broken down and turned it back to Victor's dad, and everybody would have had questions for Victor's dad. But it's like, I get why they don't want to tell people Victor's dad, but I'm like, you're in Farmville. How worse can it really get?
Knock on
And
wood.
the funny thing about Jim, that was the best thing he said, because I also want to say the worst thing he said in the episode, at least to me, is when Tabitha came back and she was basically like, I don't really want to be here. I was trying to make it out. He's like, at least we're together. I was like, stuff in front? What?
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
God.
like, the family's back together. I'm like, Julie already said you wasn't taking care of them. Like, Julie aired that out. I'm like, you just need somebody to watch the kids so you could just do you.
Can I just say that I'm happy that we had characters like Dell, and we currently have a character like Randall to kind of like focus on, because y'all, well, at least RJ was on Jade's neck like no other, and I love
was.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Makes sense. His frustration is actually justified because people are stupid.
Now, okay, I will give you this. So if y'all go back and you watch our From Lives from last season, as Desiree said, I was on Jade's neck relentlessly. I did not let that man breathe on screen without me saying something about him. However, I understand his frustration now. Everybody is stupid. Everybody. I gotta apologize to you, Jade. I get it now.
We love you, Jade.
Exactly. Jay don't solve the problem. He writing the symbols. He the only one with a checklist. He writing down the clues, the symbols. He's trying to connect the dots. He's gonna be the one to solve it.
He's the only one trying to figure it out. I mean, he's better at it than Jim, in my opinion.
Yeah,
way better. And
way better.
Was Jim in the running?
Well, Jim was with him. Remember, they were both trying to figure it out, or they were trying to build a satellite or something. And Jade, I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like his evolution though, because Jade, like his evolution in terms of him, kind of turning into a different person. Like he's still jokey, but he's more like now sarcastic jokey, because he's like, guys, I'm not messing around anymore. Like we got to get stuff done. And I'm with RJ because I was a little hard on him too. He was kind of annoying to me, but now I'm like, nah, y'all got to get together. Jade's the sane one. Y'all are the insane ones because you guys are just sitting around not doing nothing. Jade's actually contributing.
Look, I get it. From New York. I mean,
I get it.
He's supposed to love us or hate us.
It's gonna come out one way or another, and we don't mean nothing by it.
No,
I understand him fully now. And another thing I want to say is I like the fact that the people who are, I guess, quote unquote, leaders in some sort of sense, all kind of have like communication with each other. Like Donna's close to Boyd, and Bacta and the cop, they're all trying to Bacta and the cop are trying to console Boyd. And Boyd is just like, he's not having it. Because in the meeting, who also surprised me was Bacta, when she was kind of coming at Boyd, and I'm like, you should know what it's like to lead a bunch of people or be in charge. You were a bus driver, and when she first got to this town, she was like, I'm responsible for these people and blah 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 blah. And so for her to have that kind of turnaround and have that energy for Boyd, especially one of us, I'm like, yo, you're supposed to have this man back, and you coming at him like everybody else.
I feel like Bacta wants to have more than his back because she was coming on to Boyd in the bus. Okay. Listen, I peeped game. Bacta, she was like inching up a little bit close. I said, let me find out. And she gave it's only us, so we might as well be. It's what she gave for me. Like she was just like, because who else if not us? Like I feel like she was inching up on him a little bit. So
she gave.
I feel so too. I do agree though, because she was kind of like, walked up and she's like, well, so what are you doing? And she's just trying to see what he was up to. So I mean, it's one of those things, because they don't know, no one really knows now. Just because Tabitha came back doesn't mean that they're gonna get back, especially after Dale. But so I mean, no one knows. So
I'm kind of gonna miss Dale, guys. I'm sorry. You cracked me.
I think because of Dale, nobody will try. Well, I'm assuming no one will be just willing to openly try anymore. And the funny thing is, I saw a lot of theories going back to the bottle tree, right? That people are saying when they started pulling down the bottles and reading the numbers, allegedly the numbers are coordinates to where the bottle tree will send you when you go through it. So people were like, I wonder, because remember Jade and Tabitha were pulling down a whole bunch of messages out the bottle. And they're like, they wonder if they threw the coordinates off because Dale ended up in the pool. But then I was kind of confused with that theory because I was like, Victor said his mama said this was the only tree that leads you to the Lighthouse. So Victor did say this is the only one that's supposed to lead you there. But I'm wondering with them pulling, like, that's the other thing about Fromville characters. I'm like, y'all just do random stuff for why? Like, you see a bottle tree. Why are you pulling down the bottles? Why are you pulling out?
Why are you taking down statues? Like, there's no
stop touching stuff.
To the mat.
Yeah.
Stop touching stuff.
I kind of wish that Victor was at the. I don't think he. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, actually, I don't think he was at the town hall. Right, their meeting.
No, Victor didn't have time for that shit. Victor was out exploring.
Yeah, because I mean, it would have been. Well, they don't. We know something that they don't know, which is that Victor was basically saying that the trees move. And a picture of the map of the different faraway trees, and kind of like I think there was like a few X's of maybe where he buried certain things.
Okay.
I think in a way he could be what is it? Not an
unreliable narrator.
Unreliable as far as his information. Maybe he doesn't remember a lot, or some of the things he gives out. Before. However, I did like that. I loved Tabitha and Jade's relationship. Sorry, I know we skipped over, but
no, we're jumping all over the episode of filler.
Yeah, I just love the fact that he said it looks like chaos until you understand the pattern. And this was in regards to the numbers that Tabitha was reading off, the 265, I think it was a 2659, and then the 1864, whatever. They're trying to connect that. So yeah, I don't know. There's something about the faraway trees, I think, that we need to look more into. And hopefully no one does anything stupid like Dale, or else they're going to F around and find out the same way he did.
I don't think anyone else is going to be brave enough to, because honestly, okay, so at the end of the episode, when Boyd saw Dale in the wall and he was about to unalive him for him and take him out of his misery, then Dale died. Boyd looked, and did you see that last look on his face when he looked back around? And Boyd was saying, oh, this is why. Then it's like he kind of bossed up a bit, right? And he was like, and this is why. I was telling you. It was kind of like, like when you're growing up and you're in trouble and someone's like, well, this is like, okay, let me raise my voice. And this is why I'm telling you to be careful. So I feel like in Boyd's sense, he's using what happened to Dale as a scare tactic to hopefully other people don't do it. And Dale, honestly, was one of the most outgoing characters of the show that's just willing to do things just because and just get it over with. I don't see any of the other characters there that will be willing to do that. He did.
Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was saying.
That's hilarious.
But no, I think Dale's.
I agree. Yeah, that tree definitely blocked his ass.
Because Dale's impulsive. I mean, he's just one of those guys that just doesn't know how to. He's quick-tempered, quick-witted, all that stuff. So I mean, I don't really see a lot of other people testing that, especially now. And like as Des was mentioning, I want to go kind of back to that with the numbers and stuff. So what kind of made me mad, we were talking about with Tabitha, how she didn't really say anything. It's like, the only thing she answered is that I don't know like how I got back. I went through the Lighthouse and still ended up somewhere else and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, do we think the Lighthouse is like the actual source for somewhere to actually like go back home? Because Tabitha ended up there. I mean, she seemed like she was more safe away from everything. I could be wrong about that though.
No, I like what you're saying, because I think what you're saying is the Lighthouse the only port to somewhere else?
Yeah, the beacon, the pinpoint.
Yeah. And that's a good question, because how did Victor's mom know that was the only port?
Yeah, because they keep talking about that. How like when Tabitha was talking to Henry, right, his dad, about the stories about how that kid was in the lighthouse and like she had a dream or a vision or something like that. One of those, and she keeps bringing that up, how important that is. So I don't know if that's the all-time like source, but it just seems like there's some more importance to that. Could be the beacon to everything else.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, lighthouses are beacons.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, and it's outside of everything else. It's like it's not really near the town. I don't think, right? I don't really remember the location of it because Tabitha had to travel for a while to get there, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think she will end up back at the lighthouse though.
So the boy in white is also one of the only other ones who knows where the trees land as far as the faraway trees go in.
Yeah.
And didn't he guide Julie? Or no, was it? He didn't guide Julie. He guided.
No, that was Victor that guided Julie through the tree that time. He
That's
said
right.
it went into the basement. Yeah. So let me ask y'all this: do you feel like there's a way to learn to navigate the faraway trees?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. I feel like if you've been there long enough, like Victor had his own system when he was drawing, like where the trees were and stuff. So I think there is a way to learn how to navigate it because Boyd went through one. I don't remember which one, but then he ended up like in not the basement, but like underneath.
Yeah.
Essentially, when he went through one. Yeah. So I do believe there is a way to navigate it, but I think it takes time. And it takes people talking to each other and them actually like figuring out which one is which. But I think honestly, I feel like the one person who was needed at the town hall that could have connected the dots was Victor, because like Victor has been saying since season 1, like you got to catch Victor, right? You got to catch the little things that he says. Something's not right. The train moving. And then even like Victor knew they were going to run out of food. You want to know why? Because back in season 1 and 2, Victor started hoarding food a little bit. And then he was just like, remember? He started hoarding the food. And then all of a sudden, they're running out of food. Like the crops are gone. Then you got to catch something else. What Victor said, people in front of me never had on what is that? Canada Moose jacket or whatever, Canada Goose jackets, right? I think it's Canada Goose jacket. Now all of a sudden it's like snowing, and Victor said, he's like, hold on, it ain't never snowed around here before. This is new too.
Yeah.
So it's like he be dropping little gems. Like Victor knows things, but I think it's like, I guess if I was Victor and I grew up through all that trauma, the people, the whole town missing, I probably would have been like weird too. But he has been dropping gems this whole time. And we're not even going to touch on how he cleared, how he read Ethan to Phil about bad things happen, packed his stuff up and left. That will forever be my favorite Victor scene. Okay? When he packed that suitcase up and left, I almost thought he was my people. I was like, all right now. But Victor knows things.
But like Del said, they dismiss him because of his trauma, because he's crazy or creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, when he's really just neurodivergent. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So RJ, as far as your question, though, I feel like there's another part of this too, is in terms of navigating the way through this thing. I think they can navigate through it, but not the way we may think. So what I mean is, I guess that somehow, in terms of like them navigating through either the tree or the lighthouse being the main part, how would they be able to get back, or like, you know, if something happens? Because I say that because I think like they're being played with, because this whole thing might be like a trick, and like it might be a system that might try to like make them think their mind is being played with in terms of these games. Because who the hell was that cop in that scene when what's his face mother died in front of Boyd? Who was that random cop, unless we saw him before, that popped up when what's her face died in the barn? Because when they, when the cows got into the barn, they had to take him in. He's like, "Hey Boyd, we're messing with you."
Oh, I know. He's one of the monsters.
Yeah, but it was like the
Yeah.
sheriff guy, and he had the hat on. He's like, "We're messing with you, boy," but he wasn't like a one who was turned. I don't think, and
No,
I
see
feel
what
like
you're
he
saying,
might be
yeah.
a part of like having this whole thing on a system and tricking people into thinking that this thing that they're navigating through is like a loop, but it's really not. But because if you think about it too, those patterns that they were talking about with the monsters coming out at night when Randall was on the bus, he said like they usually do this and do that, but tonight they're not doing that. So it's just
I like
kind of
that you
weird.
mentioned that, like the whole loop. It's kind of getting me thinking now. I think this episode was kind of based on hope. Remember when Henry was in not Randall. He was in Victor's room and he was near that rope and he said something about that little bit of hope was the part that I couldn't bear. I think I think back to like the entity, just basically the monsters messing around. I think it's the whole reason. It kind of has to deal with Tabitha's escape and then her return in a way. He wants the people, or they want the people, the townspeople, to be hopeful, to have a bit of hope, only for it to be snatched back. Why the freak is Tabitha back? You know, is what they're wondering on their end. I don't know. I think it has something to do with them messing around with hope, giving them hope, and then snatching it back and then putting them back in their place. It's a game.
It's funny you say that because Julie said that this episode, she said she thinks the town let Tabitha out to give them hope, you know?
Oh, that's right.
I forgot that she said that too. Yeah.
That's right. I was just saying that because it seems like it's a trick. They're like just trying to trick them into thinking they, like you said, have some kind of hope and they're going to get out. But
I just feel like the town is drama. I feel like the town is drama. I feel like the monsters are drama. They want to start as much shit as they can. You know, the group chat is probably popping. I know that they're saying, how can we make them hate each other? I feel like they want to start fights. I feel like they got like a fake Facebook page where, like, you know how when your school has like a gossip page. I feel like there's a monster. There's a from shade room. And they just like living it up on there. Like, did y'all see what we did to Randall? I guarantee you, we're gonna fight. Like, they're
behind the scenes the whole time.
Starting gossip, starting rumors, talking about some. I think Elgen is fighting his real baby dad. Like, they're just the monsters of drama. The monsters of drama.
I would love Fatima to have another baby father, like just for the laugh. Like, I would love it just for the laugh. Like, it's not Ellis anymore, and it's just so and so. And I'm like, this world is so mystical. It could happen. It could be anybody. Who knows?
Yeah, they want to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they want them to keep hope alive, but then they can go in and snatch it, and then they can all fight amongst themselves.
And hopefully turn on each other.
And record. Like, that's the goal.
Yeah. They're playing
How
trick.
do you all feel about the officer now? Like, how do you think she's going to adjust into town?
I don't think she got a fair shake. I don't, because
she doesn't. Yeah.
It was an accident. I could see if they were dealing with like real tangible human people, and she just like was shooting willy-nilly and crazy. I would understand Boyd's justification. I would understand the justification for being frustrated with her, especially us. You know, we're all black, so we understand the relationship between black people and police officers. So I understand that, you know, disconnect right there. But when you take the real, there's a real clear and present danger there, a supernatural danger, if you will. And so we know what she did was a complete accident. One, Nikki shouldn't have been in the window being nosy.
Shouldn't have.
I agree.
And now look at you, Karen. Who's shooting in my neighborhood? And then pow, now you're gone.
I'll look in that window like.
I will say, Nikki was acting real shaky for the last couple episodes. Like, Nikki had herself a little attitude for the last couple. She was acting like she didn't want to be there no more. So, are we mad? Should she be mad she got unalived? Because she was, the way she was acting with Fatima in the bathroom, all that, she was acting like a little shaky. But you know what, Boyd, being that he's the one who ended his wife's life in that way, I think he's just on edge and he needs someone to take it out on, and she's the easiest person because what she said was fact. If you don't want them to focus on A, her name is Acosta. She accosted Nikki so far.
Oh my God, can we talk about Donna and Boyd?
Yeah.
Donna,
yeah.
moment that just we're not very much used to, where she
trauma
just,
bonding.
Yeah, that she was holding that in.
She broke down.
Yeah, that was a good moment to see, you know, because we don't see her do that. I mean, she'll blow up.
Yeah, but she won't break down. You know, at least not publicly. She'll do it with like one or two people that she trusts, but she's never done that in front of everybody. And well, y'all know they were married in real life, right?
Dale and
they go together.
Yeah. I love that fact.
It just works.
That's why she looked the way she looked at when he.
I feel like those two, that moment was, you know, I feel like her eyes every single episode from the beginning got like bigger before she broke down.
Yeah, it was just really nice to see, because we forget that she's a leader too, you know, not just Boyd. She's doing a lot for the people, and not to say that they need to be thanked, but what they're doing is a thankless job. It takes a lot to, you know, stand up on behalf of the town, make decisions on behalf of everyone, and keep everyone in order.
Yeah.
No one ever checks on the leader.
No.
And that could be a problem too, but also you have leaders that don't want to be checked on. They want to be stoic, they want to be strong, they want to be emotionless enough, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work a lot of the times, especially now maybe in the real world you can get away with it, but not when you're dealing with things you're dealing with in this town. And I think within these next coming seasons, we're going to see a different type of leader have to emerge in order to survive. You're going to have to be mentally, you know, whole everywhere in order to survive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
I don't know. I feel like they could break down. Honestly, I think Boyd is already broken, even though he's not like speaking on it. But I feel like Donna is just a couple chips away from completely cracking. And I don't blame her. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know if this will happen, but I feel like because Boyd is the way he is and because Donna is already breaking, it's leaving room for a new leader to emerge.
Yeah.
I hope that leader isn't Jim or someone who doesn't have that.
God, I hope not.
But I think it's leaving room for a new leader to emerge. I don't know right now who that would be, but I feel like it is, because someone else has to kind of emerge and like take the reins and try to help with what's going on. It can't. Boyd will be Boyd, but I'm like with Donna, I think she might just go crazy, like a lot of people do there.
Yeah, I think Ella should have stepped in. She should have been stepped in. Like, come on.
Yeah.
In. Even before, you know, Fatima's pregnancy and whatnot. What were you doing? He's just chilling. Just, I don't know.
Doing nothing, smoking.
State your purpose.
Yeah. Why you're here.
You're right.
Like, what would you guys do? I just thought of something. Like when you mentioned like a new leader has to emerge, like what would you guys do like if the series is over and like at the very end of it, Jim is the only one to survive?
How did we get here? Like,
if he
how would we have gotten there?
I wouldn't watch another MGM show again.
Yeah.
Nope.
From is the only reason I have MGM Plus, by the way. So shout out to From. That's the only reason I'm paying for MGM Plus. But if Jim is a new leader, I'm like, how would that be even possible? Like, how did this guy make it?
Exactly, because he's had time to show us, and there's nothing that has shown that there's no evolution with his transformation when it comes to that. So it's like, Jim, we already seen you try to lead. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Early seasons, I think it could have been, to me, early seasons, I feel like Kenny could have been an effective leader, but I don't really think that no more.
No, his short pants.
Yeah.
RJ disagreed.
High waters.
Okay.
Penny loafers and high waters. No one's gonna follow that.
Imagine it being Sarah. Imagine it being Sarah.
I'll
That's
tell
going to
you
end
what I
up
think it's gonna
leading the
be.
townspeople. Who?
I'll tell you. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a Clandle. I think there's gonna be people that want to do things Boyd's way. Slow, steady, methodical. And I think there's gonna be people who want to, be Team Clandle. Where we gotta get it. We gotta get in there.
Dang,
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at Clandle.
Dale should have waited. They could have worked together, I guess. There's your leader, Dale.
RJ, just letting you know, if anything happens to Jade, you're gonna hear it from you know who, but Jade could be a leader too if he survives, if he doesn't save anyone.
I don't know if he's a leader. I don't think he wants to be. I think he just wants to assist the best way that he can. If people will listen to him, they'll listen to him, and then he just wants to get out.
Yeah.
Sarah, the plan murder. The plan is murder. That would be Sarah as a leader.
Sarah almost got me this episode because when she said that, I would give anything to feel like a good person again. I was like, dang. From that, one, they could give her a redemption story, or two, she could die. Yeah. Usually when characters start talking like that on a deeper level, and let's just be honest, she hasn't had much to do as of recent.
No, she's been chilling. Yeah.
It can happen, a redemption or her death. So
I agree.
I think that's what, and I mentioned that in my episode 2 review, or 1, whatever it was, that Sarah, I think she went to talk to Julie and kind of offered her, some help. And then if you notice the next episode, she went to Victor, to try to, offer him help. So I feel like what she's going to do is she's slowly going to start regaining the trust of everybody to unostracize herself. And in doing so, it's going to be her redemption arc. But a lot of times, like, as you said, like when a character starts to redeem themselves, like in the audience, they start to win the audience back over. They usually use that as a traumatic death in order to elicit emotion. So I definitely don't think Sarah's going to survive if she starts to become one of the redeemed.
I agree.
Yeah. I think
I don't know. I don't know if I could ever trust Sarah, but then at the other end, I feel bad for Sarah because I think I keep reminding myself when it comes to Sarah Lee, she didn't do that to herself. Like, she didn't necessarily want to leave the door open. She didn't want to do any of it necessarily. She was made to do it. There was a place that made her. I mean, they was carving stuff into her right arm. They're carving messages into the girl's arm. There's nothing that she could actually do about it. But I think one thing that has remained like consistent throughout the whole series for me is every season, every episode, there has to be someone to blame for something, right?
Yeah.
And it's just been like a pass the blame around. It was the Sarah, then it's just a pass the blame, and I think it still has to be passed around. So Sarah's just the easiest person to be an outcast, technically.
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
I agree.
She even said herself, she's the one that everyone hates. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Scariest person in town.
Everything's not about you. First of all, Sarah, relax.
Julie made it clear. She's like, I don't want to be like you.
Oh, one more thing. The motel.
Oh, yeah. Henry. Yeah. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. What do y'all think about, let me hit the predictions banner. So what do y'all think about the hotel? Like, because mind you, we've been watching since season 1. None of us caught that. These jokers lived there and they didn't catch that.
Oh, I'm stumped.
I'm lost for words, honestly.
Yeah, why is
if they find a damn motel and everybody's in there dead like Lost, I'm not gonna be happy.
You think the motel could be underground?
Let me tell you why I do. If you look at the promotional photo from, like with the one, well, not this one, it's the other one with him screaming. Is like there's a tree, or there's like a negative space. If you turn it upside down, it's tree roots.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the answers are in the roots.
Interesting.
The hotel may be underground.
Son of a, yeah.
I'm gonna think about that
We
one.
all missed it, Dell. We all missed that hotel.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Motel.
because I'm like, if there was a motel, that's a whole bunch of additional room for people to stay in. So I'm just like,
Oh,
you
someone
don't
else
have to be
called it the
happy.
rain. Yeah.
Colony House is just overcrowded for no reason. Like, go.
Could you imagine if they pan the camera over slightly and there's a whole hotel over there and they're like, wait a minute.
They just want to live amongst each other. Filth.
Or maybe the trees are expanding because the hotel's going to come up. Because remember, the trees are further away. So the landscape is changing. Maybe the trees are moving to make room for the hotel. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Ethan did say the weather's shift. Was it Ethan that said the weather's shifting, or someone said the weather's different? Like
Victor. Yeah, Victor said it never snowed in Firmville before. This was the first time it snowed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not the hotel hasn't been.
It hasn't been built yet.
Oh my God. It's like a Sims game. They're just
I
taking
love
away
new construction homes. I wouldn't be mad at the motel. Give me a new construction room.
Like,
with
but yeah.
asphalt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
And coming soon. We'll leave the door open.
We'll leave the door open.
Oh my gosh. We'll give you the keys if you give us someone.
Yeah, dangling the key.
Randall.
Yeah, we'll take Randall. I'll be like, okay.
All right. Free bedroom, right?
It was like we'll give you Jim and Randall. 2 for 1.
Okay.
Exactly.
2 for 1.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
They probably fill that motel kitchen up with food and everything. Like, give us everyone you got. So only 3 people could stay.
Yep.
Gosh.
I'm fine with it. Listen, somebody's got to live to tell a story. So, but yeah, like
Ethan.
you know, not Ethan, no, because Ethan be opening doors. Matter of fact, take Randall, take Jim, and take Ethan. We're good. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push them out the door.
Randall and Jim don't threaten me with a good time though.
Right. You gotta get out of here, man. Yeah, but overall, not the best, most eventful episode, but it definitely, if you break it down the way we did, you can kind of see there's more to this sort of filler episode. So, as usual, let's break it down, and not break it down, but let's rate the episode 1 through 10. Dr. J, what'd you think?
I thought out of a 10, I thought
He's
it
a
was.
Dr. J.
Oh, I
I'm
forgot
sorry.
to see. Yeah. No, Jay, go.
No, you go, Dr. J. That was.
No, you go. No, you go.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I would give it like a 7.5 because it wasn't like bad, but there's still some things that should have been answered. People just need to talk more. That's all I just really want, just more answers.
Okay.
And I'm glad Dale's gone.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Dale.
We got to plan his recast.
Rest in chaos.
I'm sorry, Dr. J. You go ahead.
Now I feel terrible because I was going to say a solid 3.5 when you started with 7. I was like, like I would say a solid 3.5 to 4. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. And I say that because it was the filler. Like, the only thing that's carrying the 4 is the hug between Victor and Henry. It's carrying the 4 for me. Okay, but nothing else gave. Like, how did they get drugs in Colony? How do they have so much? Like, no one ever touched on that. Like, Julie knew why she didn't go to the town hall meeting, right? She went all the way up. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm hoping this upcoming episode, which would be, I think, episode 6 that we're coming up to. I think this is 6. I'm hoping it gives us more answers, and I'm hoping it's also 54 minutes like this episode was.
Yeah. Cool. Desiree?
I'm actually going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think there was potential there, but I do feel like we've had episodes that were rated way less than this one, or more filler than this one, I will say. So I'm being generous and giving it a 6 out of 10 because I did get some information out of it, and I enjoyed it. Okay.
That's fair. I say I give it a 6.5 out of 10. One of the best character deaths, the most deserved, if you ask me. Character death we finally get to see next to Clandle, your next buddy. But I definitely enjoyed the episode, but I'll say like a smooth 6.5, 6.5, only because I wish we would have gotten more eventful things. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So they're gonna like, who's gonna do the body? Are they gonna just like leave him there? Very like, who's gonna do the body? Like, what's going on here? That's it. Who did Tia Chan's body, right? She did pretty good. Maybe she could do that.
They sent her out in style for real. Like they really did the body. You would think they had a coroner in Fromville and a mortician. They did her up good.
Yeah.
So.
Job security. Either way. So yeah, I definitely, enjoyed the episode, and I definitely enjoyed breaking it down with you guys. Before we get out of here, where can we find you at, Hero Harrison?
You can find me on TikTok right now, Hero Harrison Talk, and then same thing on Twitch, Hero Harrison Talk. I'm gonna be doing some content over there, and on Instagram, Hero Harrison Talk. Same thing. I do a lot of comic book content, and that's my main stuff over there. And I got some projects coming in the future, but I'm just keeping on the low for right now. But yeah.
Cool. Desiree, where can we find you at?
At Desiree Drill. At Desiree Geraldine, across all social media except for X or Twitter. And
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, not X.
Okay. And Dr. J, where can we find you and what do you have going on?
All right. So my personal IG is at Jamazing. But apart from that, you can find me on my podcast, on Therapy Podcast, on all streaming platforms, and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Therapy Podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday.
Great. And you can find me at the Silver Site. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's somebody else who just so happen to get the username before me. But look for the purple S, and 9 times out of 10, that's me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I had such a great time breaking it down with you guys. Loved having you guys back, Desiree and Jay. Definitely got to do this again soon and do it more often because it has been a year since we've all been together. I really missed you guys, and I thank you guys for taking on the challenge of coming back to the show with me. So thank you guys for watching, listening. Loved your comments. You guys are low-key funny. So keep that up. Good jokes tonight. Yeah, Formally Family Reunion. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do not forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Later days.
Mm-hmm.